Truth Unveiled here, and today I have some very interesting information to share with you. I know this has probably been talked about many of times, but I just would like to reiterate what's already been talked about because when I saw this, I immediately wanted to share it with you all, and I honestly could not believe it. But I'm here at a report from MSN that says, Specialist sees Pokemon Go as means of tackling type 2 diabetes, and we're going to be talking more about this, and we're going to see exactly where this is leading to. Now, of course, many have already mentioned how this game is filled with mind control and is a CIA operation, which it is, but notice how mainstream media is trying to justify it any single way they can. And they're now using the medical field to do so as well, because it even says that a specialist diabetes researcher sees Pokemon Go, the virtual character hunting game with millions of players worldwide, as an excellent means of tackling rising levels of obesity and type 2 diabetes. Pokemon Go has now peaked the interest of the medical world. The smartphone-based character hunting craze that's sweeping the world has caught the attention of a researcher at the University of Leicester, UK, specializing in international diabetes research. In fact, Dr. Tom Yates sees the application as a potential means of tackling sedentary lifestyles and obesity, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. Now, this doctor tries to justify Pokemon Go because they say, well, those who play it, they're getting more exercise, they're walking more, and therefore it's helping fight diabetes. Well, just know that somebody's watching you while you play it, because it says, according to Dr. Tom Yates, quote, if there is something out there which is getting people off the sofa and pounding the streets, then this game could be an innovative solution for rising obesity levels. Walking is hugely underrated, yet it is man's best and the cheapest form of exercise. It's an easy and accessible way to get active and help maintain a healthy body. Experts suggest this fun and non-violent can be a good form of exercise and can be played by the whole family. However, users should take care not to let their Pokemon hunt lead to dangerous behavior, avoiding playing while driving or crossing roads, for example, and steering clear of venturing into dark, isolated areas. But what if I told you that mainstream media is doing this in order to further their agenda of spying and surveillance? Because why would they even push this game? And more importantly, why is the medical field all of a sudden interested, and why are they even pushing this game as something good when it's been leading to addictions? And not only that, but also the government surveillance, because your government can track every single move you make, every single step you take with this game, literally, and I'm going to prove that with you in just a second to come. So why is this a good thing? And is this really a good thing, or is this really mind control? Now, of course, my content is not to tell anyone not to play this game or to play this game. I just want you to be aware that somebody is watching you while you play if you do play this game. And no, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually a conspiracy fact, because I'm here at Activist Post and it says Pokemon Go, the CIA, totalitarianism and the future of surveillance, because this is just another step of your tyrannical government leading us into the new world order. And this is just another test of how they're literally testing people and testing their every move right before they introduce RFID biometric technology. Do you see where it's headed, folks? I hope so. But it goes on to say that if anyone doubted that a percentage of the world population are akin to zombies, the incidents following the release of Pokemon Go have surely convinced you. Despite the game only being released in early July, we've already seen a man driving into a tree and a woman getting locked in a graveyard whilst chasing these furry little creatures. Not to mention, it was also recorded that also some men fell off a cliff while playing this game as well. And then it talks about the description on their game on the website, and we're going to go to their website in just a second. But then it also talks about Google, the State Department, the CIA, and the DOD, the same organizations that are vehemently preparing and pushing not only the New World Order, but also FEMA camps, as well as what? Operation Depopulation. Is this another way that they're doing it? Of course it is. Now it's just interesting because the CEO of the company behind Pokemon Go is actually named John Hank, Inc., which is a man who has connections both to not only the State Department, but also the CIA. Not to mention how he founded Keyhole Inc. back in 2001, which is a company which specialized in geospatial data visualization application. Now, what's also interesting and suspicious indeed about all of this is that Google acquired the company in 2004, with many of the applications developed by Keyhole being instrumental in Google Maps and Google Earth as well. And it's no surprise whatsoever, because we know that the CIA is behind many of the monstrosities of the world today. Just look at the so-called false flags and 9/11 and the so-called Sandy hoaxes, and you'll know exactly who's behind it, because I'm even here at the CIA website that has even made contributions to Keyhole, so we see that the game is directly tied to the CIA. Now, we're not going to go over all of this, but we will go over this part right here that says, finally, the CIA assisted technology probably most familiar to you is one many of us use on a regular basis, Google Earth. In February 2003, the CIA-funded venture capitalist firm In-Q-Tel made a strategic investment in Keyhole Inc., a pioneer in interactive 3D Earth visualization and creator of the groundbreaking rich mapping Earth Viewer 3D system. CIA worked closely with other intelligence community organizations to tailor Keyhole systems to meet their needs. The finished product transformed the way intelligence officers interacted with geographic information and Earth imagery. Users could now easily combine complicated sets of data and imagery into clear, realistic visual representations. User could fly from space to street level seamlessly while interactively exploring layers of information including roads, schools, businesses, and demographics. Wow, sounds like Pokemon Go to me. In the private sector, this flyover capability was so compelling that multiple TV networks use Earth Viewer 3D to fly over Iraqi cities and landscapes in news broadcasts using publicly available satellite images. All of this acclaim eventually caught the attention of Google Inc., a multinational cyber-focused corporation which acquired Keyhole in 2004, thereby laying the groundwork for the development of Google Earth as well as Pokemon Go. Because yes, the CIA is spying on you. It's even been proven that people from the CIA have been reading people's mail for over 40 years, and they not only read your mail, they also read your email. They also have access to all of your text messages. They monitor your phone calls. They know your routes to and from work. They know exactly where you eat and where you work and where you shop and how much you're spending and where you purchase your clothes from and your shoes from and everything else from. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. It's time to wake up and see exactly what they're trying to do and the bigger agenda behind this game. Now, what's also interesting is the Pokemon Go privacy policy, and when you actually read this privacy in detail, you start to see some very interesting and suspicious things indeed, and we're going to go over it in just a second. Like I said, I'm not here to tell anyone to play this game or not. You can do whatever you want, but just know that your government is surveillancing you and your children if you are playing this game or if your children are playing this game, because I'm even here at their privacy policy, and we're even at 3E, which says information disclosed for our protection and the protection of others. It says we cooperate with government and law enforcement officials or private parties to enforce and comply with the law. No, they don't. They do that to spy on you every single chance they get. We may disclose any information about you or your authorized child that is in our possession or control to government or law enforcement officials or private parties as we, in our sole discretion, believe necessary or appropriate: A, to respond to claims, legal processes including subpoenas; B, to protect our property rights and safety and the property rights and safety of a third party or the public in general; and C, to identify and stop any activity that we consider illegal, unethical, or legally actionable activity. Oh, but it's legal for them to collect data and information on us every single way they can and every single day in order to use it against us. It's legal for them and the FBI and the CIA and all those other alphabet soups to be using this information against us and to constantly be surveillancing our homes and our private lives without our permission. Oh, but they can do that. Oh, but that's not illegal. Do you see exactly the bigger agenda? I hope so. Because just keep this in mind, you're being watched every single time you play this game. They know exactly where you are. Not only that, but we know that this game is very demonic indeed, because what are you really summoning into your life when you summon a Pokemon creature? Not to mention all the all-seeing eye and the demonic symbolisms that's also in place with this game and when it comes to this game. But let me just ask you this question. Let me just ask you, if you or your child are playing this game and you just so happen to be playing it and they ask you to go to a certain public area and the Pokemon is in, say, a public location or a public park or some restaurant or somewhere, and then all of a sudden, not only you, but they gather all other types of people there in this one public location at this one specific time, and then when they do that, all of a sudden something happens. Maybe it's a so-called terrorist attack. Maybe it's a so-called false flag. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever wondered that? Because that's exactly what they're using it for. They're not using it for your benefit. They're using it against you, just like they use everything else against us. And my hope is that you're seeing it and you're seeing how serious this really is. Because even director, producer, screenwriter Oliver Stone warns against this game and calls it totalitarianism. And guess what? He's not the only one who's warned this, because recently in a New York Times article, there's been warnings against this game that have been issued in countries such as Saudi Arabia, Israel, Russia, Indonesia, Bosnia, Egypt, and many other places worldwide. And we know that this isn't the only way that the government controls and surveil us, because like I said, they do so with purchases and Google Maps and video games, as well as through movies, TV, phones, etc. And I've done plenty of videos on this to even prove that your government and CIA, they can even use your dishwasher to spy on you. And no, I'm not making this up. Oh, but that it doesn't stop there, because you want to know why that red light never turns off on your TV? That red light never turns off because your government is spying on you and your house, and that is why that red light remains on your TV. And you want to know why this is also the case for other electronic appliances too, like maybe the light remaining on your charger for your computer? Because they're recording you and spying on you. I'm not making this stuff up. I've done plenty of videos on this. I've also talked about the fusion centers. I've also talked about many government documents from the CIA and the FBI themselves proving that they've been spying on people, and they've even admitted to spying on people, and this is just one of the many ways. But it's also interesting because Russia has also warned about Pokemon Go and has even talked about the Satanism plot involved and said that it is a CIA plot, and has even tried to ban it from their nation. And it also has a high security threat in Indonesia. I'm telling you, they're going to be using it as part of a test for their new world order. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, the new world order is already here. It's mind control to the fullest. And that is exactly why your government and mainstream media are pushing this game like never before, not just in America, but also worldwide, because they want you to play it so that they can track your every single step, your every single move, and soon enough, your every single breath, so that they can have total control over you. And if you're not awakened to their schemes, well, then you are their zombies, because even the CDC classifies you as a zombie, and they have a zombie preparedness plan, and I'm not making this up. But I'm also here at the EFF that talks about what? Surveillance drones. And why I'm here is because your government is getting ready to turn America into a military police state like never before, as well as a totalitarian, dictatorial, militarized surveillance state. And one of the ways that they're doing this is through surveillance drones, actually, because it's already been set and the provisions have been set thanks to the FAA Modernization and Reform Act of 2012, which basically gives way and paves way for drones use in the United States to expand rapidly over the next few years. The act includes provisions to make the licensing process easier and quicker for law enforcement, and by 2015, commercial entities will also be able to apply for a drone authorization, and we've even seen drones with companies such as Amazon and Google and many others. But I also thought it was interesting where it says that the FAA estimates as many as 30,000 drones that could be flying in the US skies by 2020, and the EFF will continue to push for transparency in the drone authorization process and work to ensure the privacy of all Americans is protected. Well, how can that be the case? Why would they need drones to begin begin with? Are they going to use those drones to surveil on us even more? Of course they will, and they're using games like Pokemon Go and connecting it with Google Earth in order to do so as well. And no, everything that I'm telling you is the darn truth. It's time that you wake up and see the truth for yourself and no longer believe the lies of mainstream media. But you're probably wondering why I'm here at a blank page and why I'm showing you a blank homepage. The reason for that is because many also like to say that the Illuminati is also behind Pokemon Go as well, which they are. But do you know who the Illuminati really are? Is it really a conspiracy theory, or did the government come up with that phrase as well? Well, let's find out, because what happens when I type in Illuminati.com backwards? Let's find out, because I'm going to do it right now. This is Illuminati.com backwards, and when I press enter, you get this. This is what you get. I highly recommend you try it on your own. Yes, you get the website that leads you to the NSA, or the National Security Agency, which is also known as no such agency. And why is this so important? Is because this government agency, Alphabet Soup, collects all of our data. They collect all of our information. They store all of our information via fusion centers. So everything that you do, every step that you make, every breath that you take, every move that you make, they store everything, and they will use it come the New World Order to their advantage, because they're preparing for the FEMA camps, as well as biometrics and RFID technology, not to mention the police state surveillance and the totalitarian satanic New World Order, not to mention how the FBI, they even have their own biometric database that has and features over millions of Americans. I'm not making that up either. I've even done a video on that to prove that and show that. So hopefully you see the truth and you see where Pokemon Go really comes from. Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, because as you can see, it's only a matter of time. We're closer to the New World Order than you think. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, we're already here. Pokemon Go is just another test, and I'm telling you, it's time to wake up out of that sleep if you're not already awakened. But I highly recommend you try this on your own time, because no, I'm not making this up either. No, this is not a conspiracy, but actually this is true, and the truth will make you free. And in case you're looking for those government documents on mind control, well, here they are, because the first one I'm showing you is the CIA's Operation Project Bluebird, which was secret electroshocking experiments conducted in the 1950s and done by the government and doctors to create amnesia as well as new identities and multiple personalities and make their agents into sex slaves. And this is still conducted today on disabled people along with many others. Oh, but that's not it, because what arose out of this was Project Artichoke. And what Project Artichoke is once again the government's method of mind control, and it arose from Bluebird. But that's not all, because we also have our favorite Project MK Ultra, or the CIA's program of research and behavioral modification, aka mind control. And we know this was a mind control program where illegal experimentation was done on human subjects, courtesy NASA and celebrities. Just ask your celebrities and they'll tell you all about Project MK Ultra, because it was conducted in the 1950s and is still conducted today, and they got help and assistance from the demons who are preparing for the so-called alien invasion to fool the world. Don't be deceived, but this is Truth Unveiled here saying shalom.